hello once again to all of you subterranean mole people. Back at it again with another episode of the Fantasy Simpletons, a fantasy football show. I am your host, Kyle Fridland. Join with me, as always, is my brother and co-host, Jake Fridland.
What up?
What up, Jake? What are we going to talk about today?
Man, we got an exciting episode. We're going to be talking about our ride or dies, baby.
Ride or dies.
Our gunslingers, chain movers, and TD magnets. You know, it's going to be a good one.
That's what's up.
Yeah, these are the
That's
guys.
what it's all about here. We are in draft season, everybody. A lot of people did drafts over the weekend, but they're going to continue doing drafts going into the week, next weekend, and into, what is it, about 10 days? 10 days from now is the first game of the NFL season. So we wanted to get you guys prepared. We got some great videos lined up for you this week and next week to get you ready for the football season. And we got our ride or dies today. But before we start, we got to get to the gist.
Woo.
There we go. The gist is the news of the week that has happened throughout the week up to this very moment here today. We are going to start off with some contract news.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
We got Terry McLaurin finally signing his extension. It is a 3-year deal worth $96 million, about $32 million a year. And if you're like me, you probably thought this would happen at some point. Well, it just happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people knew it was going to happen. He's really their only guy, so it kind of just makes the most sense.
I know they're excited about Debo and they're excited about Zach Ertz, but Terry is the number one.
Yeah.
He's the main guy for Jaden Daniels. This is exciting that they finally get to do this so that he gets back on the practice field, back into football. Big note before that, though, always keep in mind that these guys, they might not always be great right away. There have been times where wide receivers have held out for contract negotiations getting to the last couple weeks of the season, and it takes a week or two for them to get back into the groove of things because they miss so much time practicing. So just watch out for that if you're going to draft Terry McLaurin, that he's probably not going to be on fire right away.
Mm-hmm.
And over the weekend, this was a big news. We got a big trade that happened. We had Brian Robinson, who got traded to which team? The 49ers. They got traded for a 6th-round pick. Washington also took a majority of his contract, so they're taking a majority of the money. Who are the big winners and losers coming out of this, Jake?
Well, the hype train is real on a couple guys, but really one guy in particular. Now that Brian Robinson's traded, it's Jacoby Crosby-Merritt, man.
Bill Crosby.
Bill Crosby-Merritt.
The big Bill.
And, I think it's just because he's a rookie and he's shown nice flashes in the preseason. People are pretty high on him. But, there's also still Chris Rodriguez. So we cannot forget about him.
Yeah.
But, and of course, Austin Eckler. But undoubtedly, it's going to be Austin's backfield, and it'll be up to Jacory and Chris to kind of figure out, I think, who's going to be the guy long term.
Yeah. We don't know exactly how this offense is going to do it. On paper, it seems like Austin Eckler should have a bigger role, but we don't know if the coach is just planning to keep the plan the same as if Brian Robinson was still there. So it could be Jacory Crosby-Merritt. It could be Chris Rodriguez. It could be just a timeshare of all three. We're just going to have to wait and see here.
Yep.
And the final thing is, well, preseason happened. The last week of the preseason just went through. Not a huge amount of stuff to talk about, but everybody seems to be talking about what happened with Shedeur Sanders. In case you haven't seen it already, he came in at the second half of last game. Did not look great. It was 3. He had 3 of 6, but it could have been a lot worse. He took about 5 sacks in the game. If you watch the tape, it didn't look great. But here's the real question. Is it all Shedeur Sanders' fault? Like,
Right.
realistically, is this, from what you saw, Jake, is this the game where he struggled? Or do you think the coaches are putting him in a bad spot and not giving him a chance to succeed?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's arguments for both because undoubtedly, I mean, there was some news that like I think 3 or 4 offensive linemen that started that day with Shedeur got cut.
Yeah.
So, they were not doing their jobs very well. Granted, they were like 4th and 5th string, yeah, maybe even 6th string guys. So that contributed to him getting sacked, but then also he was kind of holding on to the ball, right, a little too long, and that's where people are saying, okay, this is, he's trying to hold on to the ball and not throw it away to make the stat sheet look good, right? Every time
Yeah.
you throw it away, it hurts your stats. So, but then, he was holding on to it too long, and it resulted in him getting sacked. So it's tough to say. I mean, it sucks that he's not able to really play with the ones, practice with the ones, and I think that could be contributing to this as well. But I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
I think the same. I think it's unfair to put all the blame on one side or the other. I think Shador has some part to play in it. I think there was a bit of trying to protect his stats, because if you throw it away, it's just going to look worse on the stat
Mhm.
sheet. So, and yeah, as you mentioned, I think the next day 4 of the 5 linemen that were protecting for him got cut because they were atrocious. They were really bad. If you watched it, he was under pressure all the time.
Yeah.
But so I think it's a little bit of both. We're just going to have to see what they want to do with him moving forward because it does seem like from where he was drafted and the stuff he's been surrounded with that they're not really, I don't think they necessarily want him to succeed right away, which is a weird spot for a team to be in. But,
Mhm.
we're just going to have to wait and see. I still believe he's going to come in and play at some point.
Yeah, I think Kevin Stefanski has made it clear that he wants to develop his rookie QBs.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's the hope, I think, that him and Dylan Gabriel get developed, and hopefully, one comes out winner, but I think it's too close to tell right now. So
Absolutely. All right, now that the gist is out of the way, it is time to do what you've all been waiting for, what I've been waiting for, what Jake has been waiting for. It's time for the Ride or Dies.
oh yeah, let's get into it.
Oh, yes. Let's
Mhm.
get into it. Let's start with the first guy. Jake, one of your guys.
Yeah,
Let's start off with Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, baby. Man, I mean, do I even need to explain
We talked
myself?
about him a little bit before.
Yeah, we have. Um, I'm really high on this guy for many reasons. And I'll just kind of break him down. I mean, clearly elite in college. Okay. Then he comes into the league last year, absolutely destroying expectations, I think. He had 377, no, three, sorry about that,
3,000.
3,775 passing yards, which is crazy
Yeah.
as a rookie. Okay. Especially being on a team that wasn't really projected to kind of be those guys last year. He's like a pivotal point in this team's direction and moving forward as a franchise. So a lot of yards there, 29 touchdowns and 93.3% passer rating, and 430 rushing yards on top of that, which is it's just crazy
Yeah.
as a rookie. I mean, you got to applaud rookies when they come in and do that good work. And of course, you could talk about Jaden Daniels and how amazing he did. He was actually close for me on this list, but I think I'm so high on Bo Nix because he's underrated. I'm all about the underrated guys, okay? And if you want an underrated overachiever, overachieving QB, I think Bo Nix is the way to go. And I think he could easily be a top 5 QB this year. And that's just not where he's being drafted. Okay. You could pick Bo Nix up. You can pick him up in like 3rd round rookie drafts, potentially. I think he's going like late 2nd round. It depends on your type of league, obviously.
3rd round rookie drafts?
Yeah. Oh, not rookie drafts.
Yeah,
Sorry. Redraft.
Yeah.
I have
Redraft league.
several questions.
Redraft leagues, guys. Okay. Not rookie drafts, obviously. He's not a rookie anymore, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. I just think he's great addition. He could be easily a QB1 in any league and a great QB2 if you're in a super flex league. But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on Bo Nix. I mean, he's easily one of my top guys.
I completely
ride or
agree.
dice.
And I'm a little bit upset because originally I was thinking of him as a possible ride or die guy for me. But when you decided to select him, I was like, okay, because I'm not huge into quarterbacks this season. I've always been sort of a later take on quarterback kind of guy, but not a lot of people have been speaking to me in that scenario of, yeah, this is my guy 100%. If Bo Nix is there, I'm taking him. He was the QB7 last year, and you have to remember that's being the QB7 after the first month of the season where he didn't do a jack squat because they were still trying to figure it out as an offense. Exactly. He was so good in the last 12 weeks, 3 months of the season. And even if he continues on that pace, he'll do just as good as he did this season, and if not better.
Yeah.
He's in that perfect middle ground of between you're not drafting too high and you're not drafting too low. You can get him right at a good spot in your draft if you want to focus on other positions.
Exactly. And I think they've been beefing up this offense, his offensive weapons to kind of surround him and make him a better passing threat. They have Pat Bryant, who is a rookie, but he's been showing flashes and he could step up. A lot of guys are really stepping up this year. I think Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, obviously Courtland Sutton got that contract. Evan Ingram, yes, they actually have a tight end that they could use for once, and even the running backs, right? You got 2 new running backs who are great pass catchers out of the backfield. So, I don't know. I don't think you could go wrong on this guy. I only see him going higher, and I project that in next year's drafts, he'll be drafted a lot higher than he is now. So yeah.
He'll have a consistent floor too. He's definitely a guy you can rely on to do. He's not going to be a boom or bust every week. I think he'll have very consistent play, which I always loved in a player.
Yeah.
All right. That's the only quarterback in the my guys. We're going to go straight into running backs, and we're going to start with my ride or die here.
Let's do it.
I got big Kyren Williams.
Woo!
Kyren Williams, if we did ride or dies in a previous season, he probably would have been one of my ride or dies last year as well. I think this guy is consistently undervalued. I think he was undervalued last season. I think he's undervalued this season. You can find him in the 3rd round of your draft. He's usually being drafted outside the top 10 of running backs. But this guy he's a true workhorse. If you look up the definition of an NFL workhorse running back, it's going to be Kyren Williams. He got all the touches for the team last season. Blake Corum, that so many people were worried about, he didn't do anything. I don't think it's going to change this season around. I think for the team, they have an easier schedule than they had in previous seasons, which is going to be even easier for him to get big runs, get big holes open. I think he is a running back that he's going to be one of the best values early on. You can draft him in the 3rd round. He's going to exceed value. He's going to exceed expectations. Expect him to be a low running back 1 in your offense.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm high on him too. Kyron's underrated every year, I feel like. And this contract that he got in the offseason really, I think, just solidified the fact that he's gonna be around, and he's gonna be, he's a weapon, man. He's a consistent production machine in this offense.
They love to use him in the red zone as well. If you can see right there, it's 16 total touchdowns. I believe that's 14 rushing touchdowns and 2 receiving touchdowns as well. So he's also got 34 receptions on the season. Very strong stats. The only thing I might be concerned about is workload, in the sense that he has shown to be injured in previous seasons. Luckily, he had a clean bill of health last year, but he did reach over 300 carries this season. He was on the field 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So we're just going to have to see if that affects him going into this season at all.
Yeah, that's tough. The Rams like to run their running backs. They use them a lot. So
yeah, but guess what, Jake?
but
it ain't going to stop me. I don't care how many carries he had. I'm getting them.
I know. Go for it, man. It'd be, it could be wise to get a handcuff, but it's up to you. He's my guy, bro. He's your ride or die.
Ride or die.
Ride or die.
Absolute perfection. All right. We're going to move on to your ride or die. Another running back here.
Let's get it.
Let him cook. James Cook is here.
Let him cook, bro.
I got some thoughts on James Cook, but he's your ride or die, so I'm going to let you go first here.
Yeah, sure. So, I don't know. Obviously, James Cook showed that last year he's a touchdown machine. Okay. Touchdown machine. It's kind of insane. 18 touchdowns. 16 of those rushing, 2 of them receiving. But, I've said this before, but this is a great offense, okay? But there's only 2 guys on this offense that really do anything, and it's James Cook and Josh Allen. All right. And that's it. And they're such a good team because of these 2 guys. They don't really have top tier receivers. Okay. A lot of this offense just runs through James Cook. And last year he had 1,009 rushing yards and obviously led the league with touchdowns. And actually tied O.J. Simpson's franchise record.
Yeah, for rushing touchdowns, wasn't it?
Rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's a 2-time Pro Bowler and entering he just got signed actually. So he was entering a contract year. Just got signed $48 million extension. So it shows, he's going to be around. They're going to use him. And I think similarly to Kyren, they rush the ball quite a lot in this offense. So it wouldn't be bad to get a handcuff just because injuries occur more, obviously, with more production on the starting running back. But I think James Cook has high-end RB2 upside. I even like him as an RB1. Okay, depending on how you draft. Yeah, I just think he's a great guy. I think he's gonna keep getting fed the ball, and there's one more thing. Like, I feel like everyone is saying he's not gonna have the year he did last year. Okay, and I agree. 8, 16 touchdowns is kind of crazy for a running back.
Yeah.
But dude, let this man cook. All right, let him cook, bro. Like, tell me who else in this offense is gonna get touchdowns. Okay, it's gonna be him, and it's gonna be Josh Allen. All right. So that's all I have to say about that.
I think you made some great points there. If you allow me to be
Yeah, go for it.
devil's advocate on this a little bit, because I slightly disagree.
Okay.
I think you addressed this a little bit because you're saying, yeah, he might not do what he did last year. I think the same. I don't think he's going to do what he did last year. I think what we saw last year is the peak of what he can be
Yeah.
with how he's utilized in the offense.
Oh yeah.
If we take a look at 16 rushing touchdowns that he had this season, last season he had 2. The previous season, so when you have that big of a differential, that's why I think more people are on the side of it's probably not going to repeat again.
Not last season. He had 2.
No, sorry, not last season, but the season before.
Yeah.
I still think he can get double-digit touchdowns. I think once you just take it away from a certain level, that does affect points quite a bit. Because he doesn't get as much touches as someone like Kyren Williams. Kyren gets over 300. He has, last season, 207 rushing attempts, which is pretty low for a starting running back. I think because they like to use Ray Davis a lot. They like to use Ty Johnson. It is a run first team.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of a committee with a head guy, but still like to use other guys.
That's true, but also James Cook was hurt for a few games last year, so
he did miss 1 or 2 games. I think points per game he shows in 17.6. He can be very good. I just think last season was sort of the magnum opus of it.
Oh yeah. No, I get that. And I think it's right to think that everyone's saying that, but I don't think you should count him out. I feel like saying that,
No.
Yeah, I feel like everyone is looking at him like, oh, he can't do what he did last year. And it's probably true, but also who's gonna do it in this offense? That's what I'm saying. Like,
I know.
if not James Cook, then who?
Probably Josh.
Well,
Probably just running it himself.
But see, that's the thing. You can't put the same expectations on Josh as he did last year.
I know,
right?
yeah.
But then if you look at the wide receiving core, you kind of can. So that's all I'm trying to say. All right. You kind of can see James, maybe not producing, what he did last year, but still doing pretty well. So anyways, he's always been kind of a my guy for me anyways. I have him in a couple dynasty leagues, so maybe kind of biased.
Yeah. I have him in a dynasty league too.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just other thing. I guess it's just the way you think of it. It's either in your mind, he's either a low end running back 1 or just a very solid running back 2. I guess that's just kind of the way to look at it.
Yeah. I don't see why not.
And for me, if you think he's a running back 1, I'm not going to go against that.
All right. Cool.
All right. I'm going to move on to another one of my ride or dies. I've been singing this guy's praises for pretty much since we started this channel. It's Chase Brown. I mean, come on. This guy's money.
Mm-hmm.
He is absolute money. He's got Chase in his name. Chase the
Yeah.
bank, anyone? He is bank. If I can get into it a little bit, I've talked about this before. When he officially got the starting job, he was an absolute monster. Not just in rushing yards, but in PPR because of how many receptions he would get later into the season. So many passes were going to him out of the backfield. It got to a point where it almost felt Austin Eckler-like. Where he is, if we're talking about workhorse, him and Kyren, to me, are like two of the biggest workhorse running backs. They're right up there in like the top 5 in terms of guys that are going to get almost every touch that you see. He just missed 1,000 yards last season, but he had double-digit touchdowns. During that little run where he was the starter, I think he was ranked running back 5 from the point where he officially became the starter to the end of the season. I think he will be an absolute steal to get. But that's what I said the last time. Since we talked about that, his stock has been going up and he's been getting drafted in the middle of the second round. Even then, I'm still going to take him. I'm super high on the value that he can offer as both a dual threat running back and wide receiver option.
Oh yeah, Chase Brown's great. I also think it says a lot that they got rid of Zach Moss, who last year was, kind of splitting the backfield at the beginning of the season with Chase Brown before he got injured. So, him being back healthy and them cutting him is shows that they want to take Chase Brown to the moon, have him be their guy. So
it also
yeah.
says a lot that they didn't draft anybody. I know they drafted Taj Brooks, but that's the 6th round.
Yes, but I mean,
there was a lot
it's
of talk that they were going to
running
get
back rookie draft.
It was, but there was a lot of talk that they were going to get Amarian Hampton, Travion Henderson.
True. Yeah.
They
right.
interviewed like 3, 4, 5 different running backs before the draft started, and they didn't draft any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what the coach
that's
said.
Big.
The coaches have come out and said like he's going to be our guy. We trust him fully.
Yeah. No, he's a great dude. He's a great guy. I'm excited for him, and I do think he's undervalued.
Yeah.
But he's the most valued that he's been this season for sure.
Yeah, in a long time.
Makes sense.
And I will keep singing his praises. If you have a draft coming up, do what you can to get him. Don't draft him like top 5 probably, but if you get the chance in the second round, if you see him there, take him. See what happens.
Yeah. It's a great offense. You wouldn't be doing yourself a disservice drafting this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we're going to talk about great offenses, we're going to go back to the Denver Broncos here with your ride or die, Jake. This man's Courtland Sutton.
Let's do it. Love me some Courtland Sutton. And dude, I think this man's as old as he is. Okay, in the football world, he's a little old. 29. Did he just turn 30? Not even sure.
Hey.
But as old as he is, bro. Wait, what were you gonna say?
No. I was just saying, hey, come on, man.
Oh,
come on, man. 29.
No, I'm not knocking, his age. He just got a contract extension. Okay, so 4 years, right?
I think I'll have to look it up again. I think the last time it might have been a 4-year extension. It could have been 3 years as well. But he got signed to a decent chunk of change. Get that money.
Oh yeah, and I know we talked about it before, but that's huge. Okay, he's totally shown that he's been their number one guy with kind of an interesting receiving group, right? Sutton's just been around and he's stayed producing, but he's only getting better. And I think that's because he's got Bo Nix. So the two just kind of complement each other. But yeah, last year, kind of dominated the running back. The Broncos receiving room with 81 catches, 1,081 yards, and 8 touchdowns. I mean, what more could you want
Yeah.
out of a starting, wide receiver? And, I think we keep talking about how the guys we like are underrated, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because we like underrated guys, but in large parts because these guys you can just get with such a steal in drafts, all right?
Absolutely.
And they'll just do so well for you. Like because of Courtland Sutton's contract, I don't think he's going anywhere and it shows that they're going to use him, obviously. But I think he's just on track for a huge year, okay? In this awesome offense. All right. You already know how I feel about Bo Nix.
Yeah.
And this is his number one guy. So, yeah. And it's especially notable that in preseason, Sutton hauled in 83 yards and a touchdown in one of the games.
A lot. He got a number of targets. Bo Nix was
Mhm.
looking to him quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're solidified and ready to go, bro. But yeah, we have him at wide receiver ranking 15. And draft analysts list him as a value pick with high upside. And yeah, great cost efficiency. I think he's just gonna do great in this duo with him and Bo Nix. So, it's
Absolutely.
just kind of an extension of my Bo Nix love. I had to throw this guy in there.
Dude,
Had
and
to
he
do
was
it.
another guy I was also considering for ride or dies. He was like on a short list for me as well.
Yeah.
I ended up going with other people, but he got pretty close.
Yep.
Just for anybody to clarify, when I put down the rankings up the front, that's just where they were ranked from last season. That was their end of season ranking of where they were compared to everybody else. You mentioned an interesting point about his draft position, because we just did a fantasy draft just a couple days ago. And the big thing that we found was there was a dead zone in the middle of the draft of like round 5,
Yeah.
6, 7 of wide receivers, where it's a lot of risky picks, a lot of unknown commodities. And then sitting right in the middle of that is Courtland Sutton. I think he is a gem that stands out in that little group. And I think a
Totally.
lot of people are going to realize that if they haven't already, if they've drafted this last weekend, that he is a guy that people undervalue because he's been around for a long time. This is his 8th year.
Mm-hmm.
He's been around for a bit, but he's easily Bo Nix's number one option in this offense.
Yeah.
It's not even close. He's
Mhm.
gonna be probably a top 15 wide receiver. And that's just, for me, I think that's just baseline.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think so too.
yeah, absolutely.
It's
He's gonna
just
be a guy to watch this season.
he is. But yeah, I mean, off what you were saying, he's just a sweet spot for sweet spot value in mid rounds, right?
Yeah.
Like ESPN has him ranked at wide receiver 25. Okay,
That's too
and
low.
I think it's too low, bro. This guy could easily be, wide receiver 15 like he was last year. Okay. Um, I mean, I don't want to say easily, but it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah,
Right.
I would say so myself.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna move on here, he's not the only wide receiver ride or die that's here. I got one of my own ride or die. And this guy, let's be honest, this guy has been getting a lot of hype the last couple of weeks, especially due to certain wide receiver injuries. Emeka Egbuka. This is not a surprise to a lot of people. His stock has been flying up recently.
Yeah.
I think it's always been known within the general like diehard fantasy football audience how good this guy is, but I think it's starting to reach to the casual audience as well, and his stock is starting to shoot up. And here's why. He was drafted in the top 20 of this last NFL draft. When coming out of college at Ohio State, that incredible receiver room that I think a lot of people know the names of by now, he was seen as this all-around prospect. He could do just a little bit of everything. Any position you wanted him to fill. Was he athletic enough to make the catch? Yes. Is he fast enough to get that done? Yes. Can he run the route? Yes. He's sort of this jack of all trades receiver when they drafted him. And he was originally coming in with Jalen McMillan, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Well, Chris Godwin's injured probably until the second half of the season. Jalen McMillan is probably going to be injured for a significant amount of time because of a severe neck sprain. Egbuka was going to take that step anyways, but now it's been accelerated. Now it's him and Mike Evans in a passing offense with Baker Mayfield, who threw over 40 touchdowns last year. Egbuka is going to kill it in the first half of the season at least, and he's probably one of, if not maybe, the biggest wide receiver value right now.
Yeah. It's actually insane how low he's going in drafts, bro. Like, oh, man. I mean, we saw it. We did a draft the other day.
Everybody was playing a game of chicken. I think everybody was looking at him and thinking, how low can we go before we can take him?
Yeah. I think most people forgot he was even on the board. I did for a second. I was like, oh, do I really want to go with these guys? And then someone took Embuka, and I was like, well, hold up. He was still there. Like, I would have taken him around earlier.
Hold up.
It was
Wait
crazy.
a minute. Something ain't right.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, he's one of the guys that it just makes sense to reach for. Okay. If you think you're reaching for this guy, be honest.
Think again.
He could be an easy wide receiver too, guys. This is a great offense. Okay. I think for sure flex wide receiver 2 could be the case, you know. Baker Mayfield is a freaking gunslinger, and he's got to sling the gun. Someone.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
And nobody's been singing his praises higher than Baker.
Yes.
Baker absolutely loves him. And I think it's going to show on the field. I mean, did you see that catch he had in the preseason where he was going down to the ground, caught it one-handed? He's a great player. And a great player that's got a great opportunity and a great offense is gonna play great. Don't overthink it.
Yeah. I think he's this year's Jalen McMillan. And
I think he's bigger than that.
he can be easily better. But I mean, he has the opportunity, right? Just like Jalen did last year.
Yeah.
And Jalen popped off at the end of last season when they needed him. Now he's not even there. And it's just it's really wide open for Embuka to come in and be right up there with Mike Evans. So,
and who knows if if this is Mike Evans' last season, Egbuka could go into next season having already established himself as their next number one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, is getting older too. I know he has more of a contract, but still easily step up.
But we're just gonna have to wait and see. So if you get stuck in that game of chicken, be the first one to strike.
Yeah.
Well, now we've reached some of our final ride or dies. These are 2 sets of tight ends. We're gonna go through Jake's first. Jake, it is not the Jake Ferguson podcast, but we are going to talk about Jake Ferguson here today. Why don't you take us through?
Oh yeah.
Why don't you take us through the Ferg,
bro? Shout out to one of our family members out there, Cam. Anyways, this little inside thing. But anyways, Jake Ferguson, baby. Whoa.
The
Jake
power of
Ferguson,
Jake
baby.
Ferguson is shaking the earth.
Dude, for real. Man, talk about underrated, bro. In my books. Okay. I really think that this year, with a healthy Dak, Jake Ferguson can be a touchdown machine like he was 2 years ago. Call me crazy, bro.
Mm.
Okay. Last year was not Jake Ferguson's year. All right. Struggled with an injury. Okay. Part of the season. He had Cooper Rush thrown to him. All right. Cooper Rush, guys.
Cooper. Hey,
Come
come
on.
on, man.
I mean, hey, nothing against Cooper Rush, but like,
But that
bro,
it killed his production.
it killed his
any
production.
chance.
Yeah, he didn't have the compatibility that Dak has with Jake. So I think that his last year's numbers were a little shammy. And I'm just really high on him this year. I think that with George Pickens there, it poses a little bit of a threat to Jake. But then again, on the flip side, it could open up more targets for Jake, right? If there's more people going after George and CD, who's
Yeah.
going to be there? Jake Ferguson. All right. That's what I think. But yeah, I'm projecting him to be a you know, tight end 2 with potential tight end 1 upside.
Yeah.
All right. I would definitely consider your options when going for tight ends. I wouldn't say, hey, draft Jake Ferguson like number 1. All
He's the
right.
next George Kittle.
No. I'm not saying that here. I'm saying that he's a lower round, or he's a lower to mid round tight end that could prove to be a lot higher than his projections this year. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just projecting a
Yeah.
strong bounce back year for Jake Ferguson. You know, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
We'll have to see. I mean, here's the thing. Statistically, he wasn't great last season, even with Dak Prescott around. One stat stands clear above all else. It's the big fat 0 above his touchdowns, the big old goose egg.
Mm-hmm.
And that one stat is going to decide if he's viable or not.
Yeah.
Because he's not a guy that's going to come out and he's going to get 80 to 100 receptions in a season. He's not going to get an incredible amount of yardage. He is a touchdown based tight end. So
he is. But see, he got signed to an extension this offseason. Okay.
He did.
And the first year he came in to the league, really, kind of solidifying himself as the number 1 tight end on the team, was 2 years ago. And I think he was still finding his ground. I think that now, with a healthy Dak and the chemistry that they've had throughout the past couple of years, this is his breakout year. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think last year is scary to look at. But I really don't think it was anything that he could have done that put him in that. It was more of a team situational thing.
I think for me, I'm never going to be like fully against the idea of a Jake Ferguson breakout happening. It's just more, I just want to see it. And I do think he had a couple opportunities at touchdowns last year that just didn't work out for some reason, but maybe that's just situational. Trey McBride had a lot of opportunities at touchdowns, but he didn't get any until the very end.
Sure.
So I think it's more of just a wait and see, especially
Definitely.
with George Pickens there.
Yeah,
But who knows? We'll see what happens with him.
I agree. He's definitely not a bad guy to have on your bench to hold and just to, like Kyle said, see what
Yeah.
happens.
He can be like what Mark Andrews was last year, where statistically maybe not amazing, but if he gets a lot of touchdowns, he'll be viable.
Yes.
All right. And we'll finish this off with the last guy. And maybe you might think, well, this guy's ranked too high to be considered a ride or die. I don't care. It's my guy. It's my list. I do what I want with it. This is George Kittle. George Kittle was the tight end 3 last season, only behind the big two of Trey McBride and Brock Bowers. He's being drafted near the middle to end of 3rd round and even early 4th round. But guess what? Who else outside of maybe Ricky Pearsall is Brock Purdy going to throw the ball to? Everyone's hurt.
Exactly.
Everyone's suspended. Even their running backs are going down. They had to trade for Sky Moore. Do you know how bad your situation has to be when Sky Moore suddenly becomes an enticing option?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I couldn't imagine the Niners looking at Sky Moore and be like, man, that guy's looking like a snack. But
Yeah.
you just have to look at the obvious. He's been there. This is his 9th season. He's been there for 9 years. He's always been one of the top targets. When Brock Purdy and George Kittle are healthy at the same time, they've always been one of the biggest tight end quarterback dynamic duos. They dominate together. And you just look at his production, he always gets over 1,000 yards. He always gets 8 to 10 touchdowns a season. He's going to dominate again, especially with the amount of work that's now going to go his way because there aren't other guys there. I think he can legitimately make it a true competition between him, McBride, and Brock Bowers as the number 1 tight end this season. And that's just me.
Oh, yeah. And I think you could see in interviews and just a lot of the 49ers media coverage that this guy is kind of a leader in his offense. Okay.
Yep.
Like you were saying, he has that veteran status. And I think he's just kind of a key contributor to the success of the team. Not only like on the field, but just like he seems like the life of the party type guy. He's his character is very much to me seems like a Jameis Winston type character, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to like refer to him as a character, but you know what I mean? Just a guy that people want to be around and a guy that can lead his team. And I think it just shows on the field. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to be in on a guy like that. It's just kind of fun, to be on a guy like George Kittle. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. I don't think there's too much else to say about George Kittle, but really quickly, because I did talk about this beforehand, that we would be keeping track of what's happening because a lot of news is going to come out today and
Yes, I saw
tomorrow.
that.
And I've been seeing a few little news breaks here, and I think we should very quickly cover them before this episode ends. First off, the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson signed a deal. What? What? How did that happen? That's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. That just happened on this episode.
It just happened. It just happened right now, and that's not the only thing. Here's some other news. The Lions released QB Hendon Hooker. So all those Hendon Hooker lovers out there, he lost his job.
That's too bad.
Yeah, but that's just a small one. Joe Mixon was officially placed on the NFI list. He will miss at least 4 games this season.
Yes, I saw that.
That's a big news one because there was always discussion of is he going to miss 1 to 2 games or 4 plus. So that changes things. But I think this is the most interesting. Jacoby Myers has requested a trade. Jacoby Myers. Should we bring out the breaking news sound? I've been waiting to break this one. Love it. The team currently has no plan to trade him though. So
That is interesting.
Yeah, that's a developing story. I did not expect that.
Well, did you see who they just signed, the Raiders?
Who'd they just sign?
They just signed Amari Cooper to a 1-year deal.
No, they did not.
They did.
Right now?
That's what I thought you were going to talk about, but
No, I didn't. I
Yep,
didn't
right
actually
now.
know that.
very recently, like within the last 5 minutes, they did that.
Oh my
Or-
goodness. No,
That's
I
right.
had no idea. No, that is big news.
And that might make sense on
Dude, that
why
actually changes a lot about the Raiders' passing
Dude.
game.
it could, because I don't want to say Amari's washed, but he did not do too hot on the Bills.
No, he didn't do too hot on the
So-
Bills. But there was also, you never know what's going to happen with a player after they get traded mid-season. And it didn't seem like
Very
the
true.
Bills. It didn't seem like the Bills wanted to utilize him as a on the field all the time guy.
Yeah.
He had an injury as well. But that's interesting. So that would make the receiving room Jacoby Myers, Amari Cooper, Dante Thornton,
Or Jack Betch.
or Jack Besh, or there's another name in there.
Or it's Trey, right?
Trey, Trey Tucker.
Trey Tucker.
Trey Tucker. There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it complicates things. So it seems like Myers wants out because he doesn't feel appreciated.
Yeah. Wow. And I
Wow.
mean, Brock Bowers on top of that. So that's kind of a lot going on.
That is a lot
Kind of
going
a lot
on.
going
Hey,
on.
hey, if you're in a super flex league, maybe you should think about getting Geno Smith. Geno Smith looking like a better and better asset every single day.
Yeah. Or even Dante Thornton has been getting a lot of hype lately. And
Dante
if Jacoby
Thornton.
Myers, if something happens to Jacoby,
Yeah.
Dante, bro.
It opens up for Jack Besh as well, who's been, I don't think he's been struggling necessarily, but he hasn't necessarily taken advantage of the opportunity yet.
Yeah. Haven't heard as much on him as I have Thornton.
Yeah. But we'll keep updated on that. But that's going to do it for this episode here. Thank you to everybody that listened. Also, thank you so much to all the views we got on the Sleepers episode. It was way more than we could ever imagine, and we hope it's just the beginning here.
Yes. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. You can follow us on Instagram, X, TikTok. You can listen to our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next time, in a complicated world, just stay simple.
Stay simple.